Hello, and welcome to Pinstripe Talk. My name is Anthony, and we're going to be going down everything going on in the world of the New York Yankees. Now, to start it off, we have to talk about the Yankees and Baltimore, or pretty much just the Yankees. They are, I believe, 17-2 this season after losing the first series of the season 2-1. So it's pretty significant that they've won. What? I think we won the first. I think we won the last two. I don't know. We probably won 15 in a row against Baltimore, which is remarkable. Now, I'm not going to go out and make any ridiculous claims saying that Baltimore's a good team, because they're not. But still, beating a team probably 15 in a row is next to impossible. That's just ridiculous. We played two series against Baltimore, sandwiched around the Blue Jays series, which we ended up splitting. So, I mean, the games in Baltimore: 9-6 win, 9-4 win, 14-2 win. So three wins there, and now an 8-5 win, an 11-8 win, an 8-3 win, and a 6-5 win. I mean, it's remarkable. And the Blue Jays series, we won the first game and the last game. Herman pitched the first game, won 12-6. Last game, he won 1-0 on a beautiful game pitched by Masahiro Tanaka. But while every win is important, and every series this season is important because obviously we need to win games. We now have the best record in baseball at 81-41. But the most important series was the series at the beginning of August, the 4-game series against Boston. Now, that's the one I'm going to break down the most heavily here today. First game against Boston, which was back on the 2nd. Red Sox were 59 and 51 going into that game. We were 68 and 39. Now, it's a big gap, but if the Red Sox can come into Yankee Stadium and do what they did to us in Boston, then they have a legit shot at maybe not the division, but a playoff spot, which is not something we want them to have, obviously. So, first game of the series, J.D. Martinez, 2-run home run. We end up down 2 runs early. Gleyber hits a grand slam in the bottom of the inning, and that's it. That's all the runs of this game. Obviously, LeMahieu 2 hits, like he always has, and it was an odd game because there were 6 runs scored in the first inning, and then next to nothing else. It was odd, to say the least. But we do win the first game. Win the second game handily, 9-2. Win the Saturday. The first game of the doubleheader on Saturday, 9-2. Second game of the doubleheader, we had to play a little harder. It was a 6-4 win. And the Sunday game was a 7-4 win. So, hard-fought games. But sweeping the Red Sox here and now may have been the most important series we've had to this point this season. It is... It's definitely something you want to see a championship team do. Bury them when you can. Now, last show I did, which was a few weeks ago, I was doing the show at the deadline. Yankees did nothing at the deadline, which I'm still a little annoyed about. But we're playing well, so we have to move on with what we have. Other teams, however, like the Houston Astros, went out and got Joe Biagini, Aaron Sanchez, both in Toronto, and Zach Greinke. Now, Zach Greinke, that I'm not going to fault the Yankees for not going out and getting Zach Greinke. I'm not going to get angry and say they should have gotten Greinke because he had a no-trade that included the Yankees. He had a no-trade clause where the Yankees were on that list, and there was no way he was going to waive that to come here. The Astros were not on that list, so he could not veto a trade to Houston. So he's on the Astros. Now, them getting Greinke arguably makes them the best team in baseball. With a rotation of guys like Verlander, Greinke now, Cole, Aronson just threw a no-hitter, Wade Miley. So they are formidable in that rotation. Speaking of the Astros rotation, though, last night the Astros starting pitcher for the game yesterday was supposed to be Garrett Cole, but Cole had a bit of a hamstring injury, which led him to being taken out of that starting role for the game and undergoing tests. Apparently he'll be fine, but I had to report on this because, I mean, if the Astros lose Garrett Cole, it could be big. It could be, not that you want to see anyone get hurt, but if the Astros lose Garrett Cole, kind of evens the playing field a little bit, even though the playing field is pretty even as is. I mean, just look in our last, what? 1, 2. In our last 16 games, we're 14-2. I mean, the last negative thing I can say about the Yankees was the series in Boston. And that's the last negative thing you can go back for a while. Post All-Star break, we won the series against Toronto right after the break. We won the series against the Rays right after the break. Won the series against the Rockies, the Twins, the Red Sox series notwithstanding. Split the series with the 2-game set against the D-backs, swept the Red Sox, swept the Orioles, split the series with Toronto, and then just swept the Orioles again today. It has been a lot of positivity on the side of the Yankees. Now, the Astros, probably over the Dodgers, are the team to beat. They're going to win the West, and they're going to be maybe the 1 or the 2 spot. Now, we will not play them in the first round because the way the postseason is shaping right now, Yankees, who have the best record in baseball, are 81-41. The Astros are 78-42, and I believe they're losing right now. Actually, they came back. A big 9-9 game in Houston. In Chicago against the White Sox, back and forth contest there. But yes, Houston will be the 1 or 2 seed, and we will be the 1 or 2 seed. So if say we're the 1. The Yankees will play the winner of the wild card game, which right now will be the winner of the Cleveland and Tampa Bay game. Which, in all honesty, the way the playoff picture is shaping, there's only one team that could potentially make some noise as far as the second wild card goes, and that's Oakland. Because Detroit is so far out of it. Detroit, Baltimore, Kansas City, Seattle, and Toronto are all 25.5 games back or more. Chicago is 16.5. Los Angeles is 13. Texas is 10.5 games. And I'm going to call it now and say Boston's out of it at 8 games back of the second wild card spot. They're not a playoff team this year. Oakland is 3 games back, and it's hard for me to say that they have a shot, but they do have a shot at 3 games. So they're the only other team I can see potentially making some noise, but the Yankees will have to worry about playing Houston if Houston advances past the first round. So, say we have the 1 seed, Houston, we will be playing the winner of Cleveland and Tampa Bay, and Houston will be playing the Twins. So we have to worry about the rotation in Houston when we get to the ALCS. Mentioning some National League teams while we're mentioning the playoff picture. Atlanta has a 6-game, pretty sizable 6-game lead on Washington for the East. Chicago is only a game lead on St. Louis for the Central, and the Dodgers are running away with the West. So I could almost definitely say that Atlanta and the Dodgers are going to win their respective divisions with the Central being a close race. But I do believe that Chicago was probably going to win that division. Washington is a game ahead on St. Louis for the first wild card spot. Sorry. So Washington is pretty set as far as being in the wild card hunt right now. Things can change because while I mentioned that most teams are 8 games back or more in the American League, you have to go down to the Padres to find the first team who's 8 games back. The Padres are 8 games back, the Rockies are 10.5 back, the Pirates are 13 back, and the Marlins are 18.5 back. Now, that being said, I don't think the Reds, who are 6.5 back, have any shot. I don't think the Giants, who are 3.5 back, have any shot. Or the Diamondbacks, who are even 2.5 back. The Phillies, Mets, and Brewers all have a chance, in my eyes. You have a shot. I don't think they're going. I think the postseason is going to be as it is now, which is Atlanta, Chicago, and Los Angeles being the division leaders and division winners, and Washington and St. Louis being the wild card teams. So it's going to be an interesting playoff, and Yankees will definitely be there, but they have to focus on getting there first and staying healthy and getting there first. And with that, we talk about some injuries and some people coming back for some injuries. The Yankees have they moved Giancarlo Stanton to the 60-day injured list, which puts him to come back at some point at the end of August if he is in fact healthy. He's eligible to come back on the 25th of August. Severino, this was 2 days ago, Severino threw a 29-pitch bullpen session. Will throw one more and then face hitters. Dylan Betances threw 20 pitches in the bullpen, 17 fastballs and 3 breaking balls. He said he was very happy with the way he was throwing. Luke Voit went through a workout today and went on a workout a few days ago. Experienced no issues. Hopefully he will avoid surgery. CeCe is starting. CeCe going to start in a few days. Hicks has no pain in his elbow. So everything is kind of coming up roses as far as the injury front goes. Now, for guys like Giancarlo Stanton, for guys like Luis Severino, who, frankly, haven't really contributed all season, these are important times because while we made no trades, we definitely could use these big bats and these big arms as soon as possible. Other news, Jordan Montgomery, a name a lot of Yankee fans haven't heard in a very long time, threw a 2-inning sim game recently. Boone said he's getting closer to action, but he's still unsure if Montgomery could be an option this September. Voit is hitting in the cage today. We'll go to Tampa or Scranton for some workouts, and then he could start playing in some games. And yes, CeCe Sabathia is going to be starting this Sunday. So we have CeCe to look forward to coming back. We have Stanton hopefully coming back soon. He is starting baseball activities. We have Severino throwing off a mound for the first time since April. So it's all very encouraging. It's all very good to see as far as the Yankees go because, let's just break down this season for a second. When the Yankees went into this season, they went into it assuming that this would be their team. Sanchez behind the plate. At first base would be Voit. Second base would be Torres. Shortstop, at that point, would be Tulowitzki, but then it would eventually be Didi, which it is now. And then we would have Andujar playing third base. And the outfield would be Gardner in left, Hicks in center, and Judge in right. DHing would be Giancarlo Stanton, with Greg Bird getting time here or there, LeMahieu playing around the infield every day, but at a different spot, first, second, third. And now, our best team on the field includes guys like Mike Tauchman, Cameron Maben, DJ LeMahieu is going to win a batting title. And this is not even mentioning Gio Urshela.